Welcome to Pioneer Point. I'm Coleman Bonds.
And I'm Reagan Smith. Governor Lee's proposed budget could mean faster improvements to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Sumner County. The repairs are one of the projects under the state's Improvement Act, which the governor wants to speed up because of the rapid growth in Tennessee. $76 million have been allocated for the widening of Vietnam Veterans Boulevard.
More than 200 vendors will be on display at Squarefest in downtown Gallatin on April 30th. The annual event features live music, food, arts and crafts, handmade items, games for big and little kids, and of course, fresh lemonade. It kicks off at 10 a.m.
Vol State Communication Program has been getting extra attention this semester. Xavier Williams shows us how the campus paper is evolving.
Volunteer State Community College has many student-led activities all across campus. One of the most intriguing lies in a small room on the second floor of the SRB building. I sat down with Mr. Clay Scott to learn more about the Settler.
What is the main purpose of the Settler?
Well, the Settler is the student newspaper of Volunteer State. It's run by students, it's edited by students, it's written by students, and it's the only publication that is completely student-oriented. And I'm just the advisor. I don't make any decisions. All the decisions are up to the students, and it's strictly run by students. Every now and then they'll come to me and have a question or a concern, and that's when I share or advise them at that time.
If there was students who wanted to get involved in this, how would they go about doing that?
Well, actually, you could send an email to me, clay.scott@ballstate.edu, or you could send an email to the.settler@ballstate.edu.
Where does the students get the ideas for their stories that they cover, if you have any insight about that?
Well, they use the campus calendar frequently. They also listen to what other students are talking about, their concerns or things that have happened. And actually, we have some students that are good friends with faculty and staff, and they'll talk to them and they may share some ideas with them as well. Also, if they want to come up with their own ideas, that's fine, just out of the clear blue, based on current events or things that involve all state students. I have no censorship or pro restraint whatsoever.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, is there anything where you can, where you just go, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea?
Probably 90% of the time, I don't know what the article is until I read it online. So that's the law. It's the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And college students have that right, freedom of the press. And no, I very rarely see something. During our meetings on Mondays, they'll throw out story ideas and stuff, and then I have an idea. But now, the full story, I have no idea until I read it online.
Y'all recently added AP to your papers. I've heard that you're very big on that. So what can readers find with this added service?
Well, of course, it's still going to be the Vol State student newspaper, and we're still going to have Vol State news. But we also want students to be able to receive the most recent information internationally, nationally, state, and sports, and make it sort of a one-stop shop for students, because I know they run to 15 different websites to find out stuff, and we feel like if we can make the Settler.online the one place they can go where they can get what's going on in Nashville, or what's going on in Memphis, or what's going on in Ukraine, or whatever it may be, at just one site, then hopefully we'll drive some more readership to that site.
As heard, Mr. Scott holds this paper near and dear to his heart. However, he will take no credit and insists this is all possible due to the hard work of the Vol State students who chase these stories. One thing's for sure, things are looking up for the Settler. I'm Xavier for Pioneer Point.
For those itching to stretch their legs for a cause, Mary Elizabeth points to a mouse-eared friend.
The popularity of Run Disney events has become somewhat of a popular trend over the years. These events begin in January of 1994 with one race and 5,588 runners. In 2023, Disney has scheduled 10 different races with more to be announced later in the year. Here's Mary Elizabeth interviewing Jill Pappas with more.
So I'm part of two teams actually. So I help with the setting up the start lines and taking down the finish line. So what that entails is like a whole bunch of logistical planning. Basically, you're talking about setting up a race course and a race start and finish line inside a parking lot, just an empty parking lot in the Epcot parking lot. And that stays up for a majority of the race season. We don't take it down. We end up just leaving everything up because once it's set, it's a lot easier to come in and do all the race events that are throughout the season. But it includes bike rack, it includes positioning of where cameras are going to be, risers, where DJs are going to be both at the start and finish line. If there's rain, it has to have like the canopies on it so that the performers don't get wet, the DJ doesn't get wet, the announcers don't get wet, and then just basic mapping out where each character is going to go. If we're going to have character attendance, character performances, character lines, and then forming those lines as well. So not just, hey, you're going to stand here and kind of just form a line. People want to know where exactly you're going to be positioned in line. So making lines in a parking lot with either a bike rack or a stanchion or even just gaff tape and making like a line on the ground in order for people to follow is a pretty big thing too. So that's just a little bit. The second part of the team that I'm on is telling people that they're not going to finish a race, that they haven't maintained the 16-minute mile that Disney requires in order to run their races. So whenever they sign up, it says in the registration form that they must maintain a 16-minute mile, or they can get picked up off of the course and they will get taken to the finish line. They would still get their medal, but if they're doing a race challenge like a Dopey or a Goofy, they don't get the challenge medal. They would only get the race that they participate in.
If you would like to participate in a 2023 Run Disney event, please visit www.rundisney.com.
The Pioneers are hitting the road this week. Here's a look at sports.
Fall State Baseball visits Motlow this weekend for a trio of games. Friday's game starts at 2 p.m., then there's a doubleheader on Saturday with the first game starting at noon. The Pioneers have a 27-17 record so far. In the meantime, UT's Christian Moore has been named the SEC's Freshman of the Week. Moore's 2 big hits propelled Tennessee to a comeback win over Florida last weekend. The Nashville Sounds have the best record in the International League at 13-5. They're in St. Paul through this weekend. That's your Pioneer Sports Roundup, and I'm Leah Price.
Spring has sent us on a roller coaster ride with the weather. Here's a look at the forecast.
We're looking at cloudy skies for today and tomorrow and a chunk of the week. The high today hits 70 as some sun tries to squeeze through. Tonight we'll have some showers likely, especially after midnight, the low 52. If you're headed to the Smokies, it's going to get a bit bumpy. A few severe thunderstorms are possible today with winds up to 35 miles per hour. We're also in the thick of allergy season. Trees are pushing out pollen, so if you're severely allergic, you might want to stick to the indoors. Also, make sure you wipe off your shoes and wash your clothes when you've been outside in fresh air for a while. I'm Brooke, and that's your Pioneer forecast.
That wraps up this edition of Pioneer Point. I'm Reagan Smith.
And I'm Coleman Bonds. Thanks for watching.